It's slow. And we're
Yay!
live. Hi.
Hey.
Hi,
Hi,
everybody. Machi
everyone.
says hi. Uh,
Hello.
hello. Thank you, everybody, for who's going to be popping in or watching back on replay. Thank you, Colleen and Val, for joining me on my channel. I was a guest back in August, or was it early September when you had me on as a guest? The days blur.
It blurs.
The
It
weeks
blurs.
blur, the hours blur, the days blur. But
I
I thoroughly enjoy the conversations. I mean, I do enjoy pulling
Me
cards,
too.
but just sitting back and just talking about, things other than like politics or, climate, global, just kind of like sitting back and just chit chatting about, things that we have an interest in spiritually, our practices, personal things that we're working on, you know, anything, of that. I just love having a discussion, like sitting at a coffee shop with a cup of coffee with your girls and just saying,
Yeah,
what's on your mind,
that's
kind of like thing.
exactly why I like guys together because it is like that. And how many opportunities do you get just to sit around and
Hmm.
talk with your friends about things like that are spiritual and that will affect your life or that can make your life better or
Yeah.
all these different things are that should be a really big concern for all of us, but sometimes
Here
aren't.
we got some people coming in. Definitely. Hi, Warrior
Yeah.
Girl. Mandy. Oh, it's got to be late over there in the UK. Oh, my goodness. Thank you for joining us. It's what, like midnight, 1 o'clock. We appreciate you dropping in. Oh, my goodness. So, um, did you ladies have anything, first of all, that you wanted to discuss before I bring up the topic that I had like set aside like as the main one? Um,
Well,
I'm very fluid and open here.
I had one subject. We don't have to do it first though, but it's really about the importance of breath and spiritual breath, breathing, and all the things it can do for you. And that's something that's free. We all
Yeah.
have it. So we
And
don't.
some of us take it for granted. When you get sick and you can't breathe, man, you
Yeah,
appreciate when you start to feel
that's
better and you
true.
can breathe. Yeah.
But the breath, when you are going into meditation, when you take those
Hmm.
breaths to center yourself and calm yourself, the breath contains the God force. So um, that when I call it spiritual breathing, like when you do meditate or do work on your chakras and you pull the light in and you breathe it into your chakras, or there's just so much you can do with your breath that you don't really even think about sometimes. If you're nervous, taking deep breaths calms you because that's more of the God force energy going through you. You can open your third eye, breathing into it. It's just endless.
Hmm.
Um, so, what do you guys think about? What comes to your mind when you think about the breath, the sacred breath, the
Colleen,
spiritual?
you're my guest. I'll let you go. You
Oh,
can go
thank
ahead.
you. Well, I don't think breathing and the breath is one of those things that I like to think of as a very universal thing. There's a very kind of like Zen thing to it in that when you are able to breathe, everybody can breathe, right? But when you're able to focus on your breath, it allows you to do everything better. So, and there's a the reason I say Zen, like imagine if you're learning to play tennis and the instructor is saying, "Okay, now you're going to hold your ball and then you're going to bring your racket up and then you're going to throw your ball and you're going to swing at it and you're going to follow through." That instruction can be used for breathing as well. And it can be used for anything, any mental preparation. So that kind of like, to me, that's Zen. It's all the same. It doesn't matter what you're trying to do, it's all the same. When you breathe, you do have it's involuntary, but there is a preparation for the breath, and you can hear it when you open your mouth, that little that one moment when you start, and then the breath actually comes and it feeds you, and then when you exhale, there's a beautiful rhythm to it that is in everything, the ocean, the tides going in and out, and so I
The
love that you brought
seasons.
up the breath. It's beautiful, and it is something that we should think about a little bit more, because it does connect you to the God force so quickly.
Mhm.
And when this kind of dovetails into what you just said, Colleen, when I think this happens to a lot of people when they meditate, if they've been meditating for years and they do deep breathing, and maybe they're doing a chant, maybe, Om or whatever it is, chant. At some point, your breath takes over and it breathes you, and you almost stop breathing. And you get this, I call it the minty breath. It's like this cold breath of God that kind of like, you aren't even breathing. I don't even know what happens, but it's like this place where you go, like nirvana.
Mm,
Yeah.
One of my favorite cards when you brought up
Yes.
breath.
Breath. Right.
yeah.
And
So,
this was actually a card that was still near the pile that I pulled for Mandy, last week. So yeah, breath is
right.
very important. When you said breath, so important you get your own card for it, because it's so. I didn't
Mhm.
mean to interrupt.
No, I'm done. I mean,
Oh.
I like what you're saying, and I like that card you held up. It was
Mhm.
gorgeous.
Yeah,
And
it's really
yeah,
pretty.
Because for me, when with breath, because of having being bipolar, having anxiety, having PTSD, you have moments where, for me, that works best for me to get grounded and to get centered is your breath. Breath is so important. When people ask me what my main coping skill is, I used to automatically say, well, it's my art, this and that. But for me, it's the breath. The breath is so important because when you stop to take that deep breath, it's a sign to your whole body to pay attention. We all have to work together. We all need to get like that sensation of being aligned, and it brings your attention straight in, like for meditation. For then when you do anything like arts or any other project that you're doing, learning the tennis. But for me personally, it's so important to have that breath and to make sure that we at least do it several times a day, because sometimes we forget to take those deep breaths.
I
And it's
catch
those.
myself not breathing. Like
Yeah,
I'll be,
it'll be so shallow, and then it's just like I'll hear someone say, well, when you breathe, and all of a sudden it's like an automatic trigger, and I'm like, oh yeah, I needed to do that. And
Mhm.
okay, say bye bye everybody, time to go. I mean, he's getting too excited in my lap. He wants more and more attention. So, but for me, breathing is grounding. It
Mhm.
automatically is that sign on so many levels: spiritual, mental, physical, emotional, that it's all tied in. That when you remember to take those deep breaths, you're automatically present within your body, you're connected to the earth, you're connected mentally with what you are thinking. um it's there's a word I'm looking for and I can't come up with it
no, but
right
I
now.
like what you're saying.
But
Mhm.
the breath is, it helps also cleanse our body. That's one of the things before I want to say too. When you breathe, you are clearing your cells, you're getting the oxygen through your blood, through your veins. So the breath is really so important for cleansing, for grounding, for meditation, for being able to be present and center, for anything that might be, unfortunately, that we're in, kind of thrown into, like a situation or something. Like, you get bad news, or there's something that you're in a small car accident or anything. It's just like the first thing, to do is you just take that deep breath, and that helps. Just for me, it just locks me right in, and it
Yeah,
helps you
Very
focus.
true. Very
yeah.
true.
When you're teaching people how to meditate, one thing that is so effective is literally instructing them to breathe in through your nose, but breathe out through your mouth.
Right.
That's the signal to the body to
Hmm.
relax. And
Yep.
I'm just amazed how that is so life changing for
It really
most
is. And
people.
I think that's why when you chant, as you're meditating, like the Om, that's your out breath.
Coming out your mouth.
Forces you to do your out breath.
Mm-hmm.
And that just sends you into such a deep, deep place.
Oh,
Yeah.
Gertrude, I've never heard that, and I probably are not pronouncing it right, but Uyahi, Ujayi. Sorry, I am not going to even, but this type of breathing, Uyahi. Um,
What
so
is it, Gertrude? What is Ujjayi or Yahi breathing?
it sounds like it's good. It's I'm gonna see if she puts for meditation. Said it helped her through the dentist chair with pain. Um, and we'll wait to see if Gertrude, if you can cut. Whoop, well, just boy, that chat jumps when you have your finger on that screen.
Visualize your breath going into your lungs and in return into your heart and all the way through your bloodstream. Oh yeah, that's good.
Mm-hmm. And another card that goes with the breath that Valerie was saying is your voice speaking. You,
Mm-hmm.
Colleen, when
Very
you're
true.
coming in, and then when you say the Om, and when you say you release
Yes,
through
the
your mouth,
Om.
you're releasing the sound of
Mhm.
your voice right there too as well. So when you're breathing, the voice that comes out as well. I love these cards, by the way.
Those are beautiful cards.
Good.
The
Oh,
Oracle
I
Elemental.
have those, and I didn't even recognize that.
Yeah,
So much for my
I've
higher
done that a
self.
few times. I'm like, oh, that's a cool card. I'm like, wait a minute, I think I have that deck. But
Oops.
Diane's tarot. Actually, she says Diane's tarot taught us that. So,
Cool. Very cool.
Gertrude, is there any way that you can maybe show how to pronounce it in chat? That would be really helpful. I would love that. So I'd like to look it up. Um,
Yeah, it looks like
yeah.
Deepak Chopra has it on his site,
Mhm.
how to learn it and how to do it.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, that the breath helps remind you and help. I just love it because all I keep saying is when you deep breathe, I automatically see that white light in your center, and it's like when you're centered and you have that light, that breath right there, then you have control over what is going in and around. Some, I mean, not necessarily control, but you are in control. That's your connection to
Right,
spirit. It's like that
right.
automatic reflex
It's
of being
pronounced
connected.
Ojjayi, Ojjayi, Oohojai, Jai, Yee, Ojjayi.
Okay.
Now that we know that.
Cool.
Yeah, the tickles. Yeah, it's annoying. That's why I don't do the
Hey, I had to look it up.
Everybody's different.
I
We all
looked
have
it up.
different energy
It's a
vibrations.
Sanskrit term meaning bondage added to its root, which conquering that kind of bondage so that you can be victorious.
Like Darth Vader. Oh,
Like
that's
Darth Vader.
different. The back
It's
of
like
the
Darth
throat.
Vader.
Bring the exhalation.
Make a noise like Darth Vader.
Okay.
Hmm.
I can see why that might have taken you a little while to master, Gertrude.
And there are some there's another woman who she does spiritual work, and for her she's very big on Kundalini breathing, but the form that she wanted me to try was when you pant like a dog, and I don't like that. That
That's a hard
just
one.
it's just air for me. It's like, okay, I'm not a dog. I'm not. You know what I mean? It just when I did it, it just everything just kind of went crackle. Like that was not how
It
for me
it
to get
doesn't
that
resonate too much
energy.
with
Yeah.
me either because it shortens everything instead of the
Mhm.
deep, long. But I mean, it's
I like
certainly
deep
part of
breaths.
a yoga practice. Doing things like that are in the yogic breathing. And again, with the Ojjayi, it's the prana, the life force flowing
Hmm.
through you through the breath. And that's what they all accomplish at the end of the day, according to
Yeah,
the
I like the deep breathing because then I can
pranayama.
imagine the
Mhm.
energy from the earth coming up, up through connecting with my breath and then being released and being sent up and then breathing in that back from the sky, the universe down into me, and then exhaling, imagine going down the earth. So I like the earth connection. Everything for me
Mhm.
seems to be fundamentally earth, even with my Akashic reading with Scott Allen. Everything he was seeing was greens, earth,
Mhm.
elemental, and that's how I've always been as a child. Hi,
Right.
Jules Niner. Thank you for joining us. But for me, it's like everybody's different. We come from different. Our energy patterns are different. Our connection to the universe through past lives are different. I really feel like that affects us as well with who we are in this lifetime, and how certain exercises or certain ways of meditation or spiritual practices connect more on a more profound and deeply spiritual um, connection within us than other people may not, connect with. I mean, all the different, religions, spiritual practices, but
It's
I
true.
but that's the one thing though that just connects us all is the breath and connecting to spirit. It's that center in the post, like in the wheel, the wagon wheel, the circle of the year, where all those different posts are coming in, all different, beliefs or ways of connecting. It all comes to the center that holds it in place, and that's the source, where we all connect. I know I'm kind of like reiterating, but it feels like almost like I'm missing a word, but I digress.
Oh, you're doing good.
Well, and speaking of the center and getting balanced, today is Mabon, which is the one of the
Hmm.
cross quarter days of
Yep.
darkness and light, where we have
Go.
equal darkness and light in the days. And we're coming up on a new moon in Libra, which is also about balance, but about a lot of
Yep.
other things too. So it's very good to talk about breathing and getting yourself in balance and thinking about,
You.
balancing your chakras, balancing your life, balancing your relationships, balancing your happiness and your energy. And so it's a great time to be thinking about all of those things and to give a little gratitude and thanks to the universe
Yes.
for giving us all the things that we have to
We
be
need.
grateful for, but that help us be balanced. It's a
Hmm.
beautiful day. It's a
That's
beautiful.
why I wanted this discussion when I saw it was going to be right on or just before, the equinox maybe, and I was just like, oh, this is perfect, because then we can
Yeah.
talk about balance. We can talk about and the
Mhm.
other questions. Um, I'm thinking maybe what we were discussing in the beginning, maybe at the end, if there's time, because it
Sure.
feels like this is flowing into something different.
Okay.
Because I'm now talking about Maven, talking about balance, the breath, the air, connection to spirit. We are coming into that season of autumn where things are starting to slow down.
Yeah.
The nature is slowing down. Things are she's going getting ready to go into hibernation.
Mhm.
The harvest is coming up, the final harvest. And one of the questions I had asked or listed was, what does autumn mean to you on a personal spiritual basis? And do you have any favorite ceremonies that you like to do at this time of year that you like to share?
Oh, I was waiting for Val. Val, go ahead.
Oh,
Rituals. I don't.
well,
Yeah,
ceremonies like,
I think meditation is the only ritual I have. I don't really have rituals like I kind of like when I was younger. I did the full moon things. I did all those kind of things, and for the seasons and the equinoxes, I haven't. I've really kind of fallen on the wayside about doing that, and I probably shouldn't because these are events that signal changes within us and our bodies and the world, and to acknowledge them and to focus something honoring it gives it power and gives power back to you for whatever. So
yeah.
you're more knowledgeable,
Well,
Colleen.
but
You
but
go.
don't you enjoy like walking through nature and seeing the colors change,
I
or
do.
being out?
I am
But
a big
that's
nature
ceremony though.
gal.
That's ritual.
Okay, good point. I
it,
am a.
it doesn't
I
have
am
to be going out and doing,
yes.
because for me, that's one of the things that was hard, because it's like, okay, now when you're taught, if you're going to be pagan or if you're going to be Wiccan, you got to have this altar and you got to do this and that. And a lot
Yeah,
of
I'm
times
not.
it's like, I just want to go for a walk in nature
I
and
can do that. I
connect
can
with,
do that.
put my hands on the ground or my feet on the ground and connect to stuff. Because for me, a lot of, I understand the beauty and the representation of doing ritual work. I do like to do it from time to time, but for
There's
me, it's
great
getting
power
kind of
in it.
like right into nature, hands
Yeah,
on, touching the ground, touching the trees,
absolutely.
picking up those leaves and, smelling a whole bunch in your hands,
Yeah.
that beautiful smell, and just
Oh,
feeling them falling on you. I'm much more of that kind of contact. To me, that's
right.
my beautiful ritual and my
Yeah.
ceremony.
Yeah. Because you know why? I did it for so many years that I kind of lost my mojo on it. But I mean, I just kind of like
Hmm.
got a little lazy on let's just call it what it is. But I mean, it's
Maybe
a
a little bit of spiritual
ritual.
narcolepsy.
Ritual can be
Maybe well, that's
no,
part of
because
not
in
not
my
getting
meditation,
into everyday life.
I do my work in
Hmm.
meditation. But as far as an altar or that kind of thing, um, I do have something when you come in my house. I kind of have all the gods, goddesses, and whoever else there is, and my rocks, and I set that up energetically.
That's
And
ritual, huh?
yes, it
Wouldn't
is.
you agree, Colleen? All of that,
Absolutely. I
it's
mean, I
ritual.
think going to Walmart to buy new lunch boxes and comp books is a ritual,
Yeah.
because you do
She's
it
like,
every
yes.
year,
You
and
know what? It
the
is.
kids, right? I
But
mean,
that
and
Buying
yeah,
going
new
to
tarps. We
Starbucks
just
every
got
day
new
is
fall
my
tarps.
ritual.
yeah, going to Starbucks,
Tarps.
that's a ritual.
Mm,
That's right. You're honoring yourself.
yeah.
But I remember one year, I was running a Mabon ritual, and I said, what I think of when I think of fall is I'm getting ready for the time change. I'm getting ready for the leaves changing and falling, and I'm getting ready to go get all the back to school stuff. And me and the kids, that was a big time for us to be together. And and my cat agrees. My cat is letting me
Oh,
know that this is what she thinks too.
she,
But
yeah.
all those things are
Kitty's
part of the
approval.
ritual. Yeah, Kitty's
Hmm.
approval, absolutely. I mean, I do something a little more complex than that to honor Mavin, but I think I agree with Heather. All of it is a part of our lives, and it's our lives are lived in cycles. And as an astrologer, I am particularly sensitive to the fact that everything has a different cycle. Every planet has a different cycle. Our planet has a different cycle. We have different cycles. Everything is, different cycles, and so you got to
And for me,
honor it
And
all.
for me as a child, it was chestnuts. Remember going out in your bag and you would go up and down, at least that for in where I grew up, we had so many chestnut trees to go and grab the chestnuts. How many brown ones you come in and have this huge bag of chestnuts. And that would just bring me so much joy. I get my hands in there, I feel them, feel the texture. You know what I mean? I mean, I was a weird
Mhm.
kid. No wonder sometimes I didn't really have a lot of friends, but for me, that brought joy. I lived outside. I was a loner.
No,
So
that's
me, I'm
joy.
climbing in the trees. I'm talking to, you know, my mom's little friends in her flower garden. So
Mhm.
it's always been earth and that nature and just even, going and walking down the sidewalk and kicking the leaves. To me, that's ceremony, that's ritual.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like
Are,
your perspective. Both of you have a good perspective about what
Now, is that the
ritual can
word
be.
for chestnuts in UK or conkers? Yeah, the little brown ones, they pop out. They have the little heart, the little green shell, and then they pop open and the little chestnuts come out. Like chestnuts roasting on an open fire. Da-da-da-da-da-da. Nope, not yet. Not even.
Little early for that.
Well, if you go
We'll
to
get
the
there.
stores,
We'll get there.
it's like, oh my god, Christmas already. So,
That's cute.
in continuing
Um,
with that, is there anything that you are willing to share that you feel like you're going to let go? Because one of the beautiful symbolism for fall is they say, see how beautiful letting go is when you look at the trees. you know, they lay they
That's
give
true.
their leaves. They know when it's okay. I've completed this. I've fulfilled this lifetime or this cycle, and now I'm just going to let go. And I love that comparison. And is there anything that you ladies are letting go this fall that you're willing to share, publicly with
Well,
everybody
I
in the
I
chat?
think because Mabon is falling so close to a new moon, new moons are really good times for letting go of
Hmm.
any time, any month. A new moon is good for doing that. But I'm a Libra, and the new moon happens to be in Libra. So I am looking forward to, in this Libra new moon, really shedding and letting go of as many little stupid phobias as I can think of. And so I've really been making my lists and getting them into my brain. And I've done a few meditations, and I'm kind of building up to that new moon where I'm going to do a big one. It's like a big meditation. I'm going to
And
let
just let
go of
that
all this
go.
stuff. Well, it probably won't go in one meditation, but it's my intention to free myself of those burdens. And
Wow, that's powerful.
so that's what I
Hmm.
want to do. That's what I want to do.
That's what I
I
love
like
about the new
you're
moons.
working up to it and you're preparing and you're getting ready because that just builds the energy up
Yeah.
for toward your intention.
Yeah.
Very
Yeah, because
powerful.
I know it would not work to do just one time, and it's too important to only face it at that one time.
Right.
It needs the gravitas of all this buildup so that I can feel in my heart that I've really let it go.
Right.
So that's
Wow. Very nice. It's a
Yeah,
reminder to all of
and
us.
new
Get our
moons are
ducks in a
so
row.
good to cleanse and to
and then I'll go to
just
Walmart.
Yeah.
I'll go to Walmart.
for me,
Get
it's like,
some
okay, go to
get a
Walmart
bag of
first and then do
peppermint
it all at
patties,
once.
and. I'm sorry, I interrupted you, Heather.
Oh
I'm
no,
sorry.
it's okay. No. Oh, hi, Aries girl. Hey, Allison. Oh yeah, she loves fall. Can you tell? Halloween, woohoo! Um,
It's coming.
yeah. For me, like I was, sharing with the ladies in the back, there's a lot of fears and doubts and uncertainties I have about myself as a reader, as being able to have a channel and being able to be a proper host without the anxiety, So I've just been working on trying to focus, and breath has been so very important tonight, especially speaking about breath. Um, and so I have a lot of these personal things that I have to let go. And usually when every new moon comes, I experience a lot. I think I'm affected more, um and I don't want to say associate negativity with a dark moon, because like the last time we were talking, having to change the vocabulary and what's referring to something that's negative because of a color or whatever. But um for new moons, for me, it seems the more difficult, because that's when you kind of got to start looking at shadow work and moving into autumn. There's a lot of things now that I want to continue my channel moving forward and being a better reader, and I know I'm getting there, but there's still these chords, energetic chords, that were kind of created over the summer, um, and outside of myself and within myself as well. And so for going into fall, into Samhain, into the final harvest, this has always been the most powerful time of year for me spiritually.
Mhm.
Um, Kind of like leading into that, kind of interested with the concept of spiritual narcolepsy. Is kind of when you start to fall asleep. For me, once spring is over and we start getting into more of the hotter, heavier days, starting like in May, June, July, August. For me, that's a very time. It seems like to be a time when I kind of shut down, and the most with my energy or with my spirituality, I'm focused more on taking that energy and putting it into the art, into being out in nature by the water. And I think that's how just some of us react differently, again, energetically, to the different seasons. Not everybody has the fear of the winter Do I like the snow a lot, especially where I'm at? No, not too much. It kind of hangs on a little too long. But for me, I do like the longer nights. I do love this time of year with the colors and the scents and the changing and the moving. That's always been the more spiritually strong time for me. And now that we're moving into this, and now I have my channel, I didn't have my channel at this time last year. So
Wow.
for me, it's now I'm almost coming. It'll be December, end of December, I think. I did my first recorded video. Um,
Wow. I didn't
so
realize that.
I'm getting onto a year. But for me now, during the most strongest spiritual time, this was when, yes, I had to push myself past my comfort zone, change my name on my channel, accept that totem that I want that's always been with me, to bring her to the forefront, because I felt like I didn't belong, or I didn't have the right to have that in my name. Like I didn't have to honor. So there's a lot of that self. We all go through it. That
We
self
do. I was just going
doubt,
to say, I don't
that
hear
self,
anything that isn't
like,
anybody's journey. It's,
should I
we've
be
all
doing
done
this?
it.
Should I be doing that? Am I good at this? Am I good at that? And about balance. Now it's the time where I can balance everything and say, okay, yes, and not be harsh on yourself too.
Yeah,
Being
exactly.
able to say, okay, well, this is how I feel. Now, where does this feeling come from? You sit there and you breathe, you meditate, and you allow those emotions to come and you let them tell you where these came from. It's a lesson. And then you think that negativity, that doubt, and say, okay, this is where I see I need, if they're not obstacles, they're actually gateways if you allow them to be. Because then they show you the way of where, okay, now that I can move past this, I can start working on that. And so this is that time of year, bringing the balance and finding what, okay, time to let go and
Hmm.
time to step in. Because then right after Samhain, of course, the next major holiday is, the winter solstice, the rebirth of the sun. So you have those about 2 months, month and a half, where, you're in that dark primordial womb, you know, and you're growing and you're releasing and you're letting go. And then when that sun gets reborn, on the 21st, for Christians on the 25th, with the Christ consciousness, with Jesus, it's the time, okay, it's a rebirth. The days are going to get longer now. So it nature is there for lessons. We're all I'll stop now because I just keep seeing myself open minded, and I'm like, you have guests, be quiet. And you got people in chat who are, wanting to share. So um
But I think the things that you're sharing are more universal than you
They
think.
are
I think
universal.
almost everybody goes through this, especially if you come on not just YouTube channels, but just starting like Instagram or TikTok or something.
mhm.
People have to question, they're just trying to do what they think is fun, and they get a reaction and they're like, oh well, if I do this I'll get more people to react to it. So now they're not doing it for fun, they're doing it for the attention, which is, now why am I doing that, and am I
Mhm.
really good I mean, that just percolates up to a whole like bag
That's
of hammers of stuff that you're trying to figure out. So I think a lot of people go through this same thing.
mhm.
um, I think it's universal. I
It
you know, I,
is. It
and
really is.
and how non-humble are you if you don't question these things
Yeah,
once in a
exactly.
while in your life? I mean,
Yeah.
and sometimes in your life you got, and I just want to take one digression here for
Oh,
everybody
go
in the
ahead.
chat. I did not go in and do the chat on Heather's channel, so I'm not in the chat, but I see all of you, and thank you so much for saying hello to everybody.
Oh,
Sorry.
I saw the comment. You can't comment in the
No, I have to go to your channel, and then it'll be loud and it'll feed back and everything. I should have done it while it was just
Oh,
us,
okay.
but
Mhm.
my bad. So next time I'll do that. But so everybody, I do see you, and mwah, I love it,
And we
all of
all
you guys.
appreciate you being here. Yes, I
Yeah,
want
we
to throw
really
that in there
do. We
too.
Really.
really, really do. So anyway, but what you were sharing, I think, was very, very important, and I hope for you empowering to actually say it out loud, and that maybe is a part of your releasing the
Gets it
fear.
out. Yeah. Yeah, because
Exactly.
when you start to shine a little bit brighter, and this is not coming from ego, but when you start to look and you see how many subscribers you are, you start to
Mhm.
get invited to channels, and you start to go into more chat rooms, and people get to know you, and you stand out more. There's good things that come with that, and of course, to keep the balance, there's negative attention that
Yeah,
comes in. And
yeah,
so for me right now, I am right dab smack in the learning about balancing that.
Yeah.
And
yeah,
it's not easy, but I'm very grateful. It's like year two, being very grateful, because with the harvest, this is, I think, the second harvest holiday, and the last will be Samhain, where people would,
yeah,
after that, what you got out of the fields to bring home to get you and your village and your family through the winter, you know, you couldn't bring anything in. That was pretty much it. And anything that was left out there was left out there for the nature beings, for Mother Earth, for them to continue blessing you, you know, with that bounty, from year to year, to help, keep your village and your family going. Um, just looking really quick to make sure that I'm not missing anything. Um, and just looking really quick here too, trying to read my chicken scratch. Because we are moving into the shadow season, I don't want to say shadow season, but I say that in a beautiful way. Shadow does not have to mean, you know, fear, death, destruction. But shadow can be very beautiful, because, like we were discussing when I was a guest on you and Valerie's channel, um, Colleen, you made a beautiful comparison of, or explanation of, metaphor of, without the dark, you can have the light. And it was so beautiful, because the moon, the sun, actually helps bring out. Can you explain that again? It was so beautifully how you. I don't. I'm afraid if I keep trying to, I'm
so
going to completely.
so the moon is just in darkness. So without the sun, the moon can't reflect the darkness. But we are in this ball that we're on, this rock that we're on, really sits in darkness until the sun shines light on us. But when the sun's on the other side, we have darkness on that half of the earth, and we need both. It's just like Mercury retrograde right now. We need that. That is not a curse on us. It is actually a really healing time. It's a time to experience not just darkness, but just anything that you haven't finished, or anything that you have, I think, that you have regrets about. You can go back and sort of fix stuff up. You can review it, you can repair it, you can resurrect it. So the dark is just a reminder that when you're in the light, be grateful for that light. But when you're in the dark, know that the light is coming back, and in the dark you have work to do. That's where the
Mhm.
healing takes place.
Yes.
Like
Yeah,
healing,
that's well
you know,
said.
the sun, to be sure, can disinfect and do all those things. But when we're being formed in our mother's womb, it's dark. That's where incredible
Hmm.
growth is going on. So dark has a lot of power, that for some reason, I'm just going to say it, the patriarchy is just
Hmm.
scared to shit of the dark. you know like
Yeah.
one time I went to a moon circle, and people were saying, how do you describe, what were they describing? The something dark. It was a dark moon that we were honoring, and I said, well, I think it's the very feminine, gooey, wet, slurpy, icky, dark stuff.
Slurpee. I love
That
that.
that kind of gooey stuff that
Yeah.
probably is very healing. And without it,
Hmm.
we wouldn't all be here. Because
Mhm.
most people are like, oh, I try to live in the light, and I'm trying to like ignore that, and I don't deal with the dark. And I'm thinking, who are you? How can you not deal with the dark? It's half of us. And when you go
And
into a room, nobody says turn on the dark. They say turn on the light. So of course we prefer the light, but there's incredible stuff that happens in the dark.
mhm. And you brought up the point of why I wanted to talk about the main topic was, or what we were talking about in the back was the term spiritual narcolepsy. Now, for Val said she and Kelly said they have heard it over the years. For me, this was something new that I learned over during the summer because I have a lot of Clip Baron reads cards, and she talks about spiritual narcolepsy. And I just love her cards. And I went to go find a definition for it, and I just wanted to share it. Now, there is no author because apparently this little snippet was taken off of WordPress, I guess by WordPress, but they didn't give any credit to an author. But I found it very interesting. And it says, even with the deepening, I think I have spiritual narcolepsy. And this means that I feel spiritual and connected, and then I fall asleep. Also known now as going back into the mode that I used to navigate the corporate world, our society, and to interact with spiritually deadened people. That's not a judgment, just an observation. During the times I have spiritually fallen asleep, I am also spiritually deadened, and the biofeedback of living that way then seems to virtually cement into my being and my persona. I become unable to access my spiritual side. It's like a dormant seed locked in a thick husk. I know it's there. I have been knocking on that husk, trying to get it open and feeling desperate and sad that I have been unsuccessful. That I get down on myself because I wonder why I allowed this to happen in the first place. But now I am working to focus on my spirit. I'm looking forward to energizing my spiritual pathways, yielding a more open and soulful person. And I think when it goes perfectly with what we've been talking about because she mentions that husk that she can't break into, and that's where the dark is. And so, because we live so much trying to be in the light, love and light, that sometimes we forget we are human and we kind of fall from grace, like the fallen angel. And when she means fallen angel on her card for her spiritual narcolepsy explanation, it's that people around us, and also maybe within us, that have kind of fallen off that place of, oh my goodness, they're not like this person I put on this pedestal, or I thought I was this, or they were that. And that falling is sometimes a complete and utter shock, and can sometimes just really rattle a person's spirituality. They're it kind of upsets their place in the world of, this is where I thought I was, but oh my goodness, like for me, what do I do now? I thought this was how it was going to be. I thought these people had, my back or the best intentions. And then me realizing, hey, I'm not human. I mean, I'm not human. I'm not perfect. I'm human. And then, like, kind of like, oh my God, are you kidding me? I thought so. We get so held into this concept of what we think is always supposed to be, and it's got to be exhausting for a lot of us. Oh, I got to be in love and light all the time. I have to watch what I say, and if I say this, maybe this might. And we get to the point where we lose that connection to spirit and to ourselves. And I think that might be where, because I think I could go on, and I think I need to bring it in now and let
Wow.
you ladies share.
That's a lot.
Yeah, that's a
Oh,
lot.
I'm sorry.
No. I feel
What?
empathy for the person who wrote that feels like they're locked in the husk. Because I think this is what I think, and it took me. I believe me, I did not just wake up 50 years ago and think this. It took me years to come to this. To really, I mean, I could say it, but I really understand it now. That a big part of my mission, my work as a light worker, is to bring not just the light, but enlightenment to muggles, to the people who are not even looking for this.
Mhm.
Right?
Right.
I'll just say muggles for lack of a better term.
I like that.
People who are not looking, right?
It
People who
works for me.
and so I go to work, I go to a 9 to 5 job, and I'm surrounded by muggles. And, they're just looking for which coffee machine has the best coffee, and I'm thinking, wow, this doesn't seem like it's going to be a very spiritual experience today. I just psychically know this, and then I'll have a conversation with somebody, and maybe they're feeling bad, or maybe their dog died, or there's something that they're in need, and I can give them some comfort.
Yeah.
I can just have a conversation with them and say, it's okay, or do you need a hug, or that happens, or I can talk to them. And that little conversation is my contribution, right? It might not be the only thing I do that day, or it might be.
Mhm.
And I can't beat myself up for not having a
Yeah.
spiritual experience every goddamn minute of the day. That is not really what it's
Yeah.
about.
Or else we wouldn't be here. I mean, we're human.
we would be light bodies. We wouldn't be carbon based anymore. We would be just little shimmers, right?
Yeah.
So I think part of our mission is to spread as much love as we can and stay in the light as best we can. But also, we're human, and we have to love ourselves, and we have to accept that we're gonna have failings sometimes, and that's fine. We're perfect just the way we are. We're in the right place in the perfect moment on our spiritual journey right now, wherever we are. We're not in competition with anybody else. We're just perfect for
That's
us.
the yeah.
There's no competition. And it's funny, before I talked all of this stuff, when I was much younger, I used to say, nobody's keeping score. If I work one more hour of overtime, nobody's up there going, oh, good for her. She did that. Oh, yeah, I like that. Yeah. Nobody's doing that. So
Yeah.
coming into a more spiritual understanding of life, yet still nobody's doing that. No, nobody's keeping score. It's just for me, and also, by the way, making that person feel just a tiny bit comforted, even if they don't feel better, does make me feel better. I mean, selfishly, it does make me feel better.
Yeah,
But
because it's that reciprocity. You're giving someone that gift that they needed to hear, and them showing you that you did do that and you did a good job at that is the gift, the energy exchange back.
but the trick though is not to just take on their negative energy,
Yes.
to let it flow
But
through you, let it go back out to the
yeah.
universe, let it get transmuted and come back down as something beautiful. So you can't just soak it all in. All you little empaths out there, don't let it just soak in. Protect yourselves. And
Boundaries.
yeah,
Energy
but
boundaries. Yeah.
you're human, you're perfect just the way you are. Take it for what it is, and then, go to Walmart. Okay. That's my theme for tonight is go to Walmart.
Oh,
Not
that's
that
a
I'm
little by
supporting,
me. Oh,
but
it's
not that I'm
awful.
supporting the Walton family. I'm just saying that
Yeah.
it's a part of our lives. We all do
Well,
it. So
my Shan actually started working for Walmart back in 1990, when Mr. Walton was still alive. Sam was, and he was the most down to earth, caring individual. He really wanted nothing but the best for his employees. But the minute he passed, those kids came in like vultures, and they just took benefit after benefit after benefit away from the employee. I mean, he really was a good person. He really wanted the very best for his, not just his customers, but for his employees too.
oh, I didn't know that. Thank
Yeah.
you for telling me that.
Yeah.
That's pretty awesome to
And
know.
Shan got the chance to meet him once, and he says he was a very nice man. So, is there anything, Val, else that you wanted to add?
I just wanted to add, I mean, for me, when I think of spiritual unconsciousness or falling asleep when you're going about your day, because I came from a background of being learning that everything that happens to you, you review it, you look at it, and you digest it and see what you can learn from that, since this is a big school. And so usually when you get triggered by something or some karmic event would happen, that's when you'd go unconscious because something made you mad, or with my moon in Aries kind of thing. Then later you'd have to review it and look over it. And I found over time, looking at every single thing in life as a lesson you're learning, even though it may sound boring to some people, it does help you
No, it
grow
doesn't.
faster. It helps you progress and move through things, which it did for me. So for being
Val,
conscious,
do you find that that also encourages you to be more tolerant of people because
it
you're
does,
learning
because
from
you
them?
realize when something happens, you know that you played a role, you played a part. You have to own and be responsible for every single thing that you put forth, all the energy that you put forth
Yeah.
in that day or whenever, however, whatever happened. So you're taking responsibility, you're owning your words, your actions, and you're being tolerant of others because you know they're on their own path and you don't have the right to say anything about what their path is. You're not walking it.
Yeah.
So yeah, it makes you very tolerant.
Yeah. I think that's so important.
Yeah, it
Mhm.
really is. It really is.
I think just that, but compassionate, because as readers with other channels, we all have to remember that sometimes we might rub each other the wrong way. One of us may have an off day, or someone might be coming from a different background or experience. And if we're going to say, love and light to everybody, let's just try to really mean that from the heart, being compassionate, like, just, even if you're like it's a rough day or something you don't agree with, just, what, sending them love, light, compassion. I know I'm not perfect, so you know what I mean. Just
Yeah.
remembering to have a bit of like maybe compassion and humility.
Yeah.
And it's unfortunately I'm going to have to go in a few
I
minutes,
know.
but I just thought maybe like pull a few cards for the
I
collective.
I just wanted to say real quick, Colleen, what you said about being empathic is so true.
Hmm.
You empaths out there, protect yourself because I lived through it. It's not fun.
The
Yeah.
energy, yeah.
Another Harry Potter like metaphor that you can use is put on that cloak of invisibility and
Yes.
Totally with
pretend
it.
that cloak is right between you and the next person, and they can still see you, but underneath it you're protecting yourself. You're
Hmm.
definitely protecting yourself.
Highly recommend.
Yeah.
Yep.
And then go rewatch all the movies again, because that's what I do
Yeah.
every
I
Halloween.
mean, me too. Me
For
too.
us, it's
Original.
Christmas because they always came out
Same
in
here.
Christmas. So
Well, that's true.
that's when Chan and I, that first year we got together, that was when the very first Harry Potter came out. And so every year we would be there, every 2 years we'd be there to catch the next one at Christmas. So it's like a Christmas tradition.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
but for everybody, I'm just going to put really quick just to show 'em purification,
Oh, nice.
Nice.
especially for this time of year,
Yes.
going through, letting go of what no longer serves you, remembering that there's that, we hold how that light, you know, we all contain that. All that, everybody that we love, the whole universe, everybody's in that little ball of light. And to remember that when we look on that, to make sure that when we are releasing what no longer serves us, and if that ball of light contains those individuals where you need to release and let go, at least to let go with love. And then the acceptance, going into
Nice.
the darkness, accepting that the dark time is coming. And instead of being afraid of the dark, embrace it. Just to give us extra time to dream, to heal. Your body heals the most when you sleep at night. And to just be open to that magic of being reborn, because every morning we're reborn. We go through the womb of the night, and when we come out in the sun in the morning, it's a new day. It's a new beginning. So that's that message for right there.
Nice.
And I didn't know if any of you other ladies had a card you wanted to share before we went, or are you good?
I did get set your sights higher.
And look at, she's holding it up too.
Increase your standards and expect more for yourself. Don't settle.
See, they're both holding in the same direction too. There we go.
Yep, there you go. And then finally, I got, let yourself receive. Allow others to give you loving care. Receive without guilt or apologies.
Yeah.
There you are.
Love that movie, Warrior Girl. Love that movie. Midnight Margarita.
Oh, that's a cute movie. I love the music in that movie too. I love the whole
Colleen,
thing.
you're muted, hun.
Oh, I'm just some crazy lady back here waving my arm.
She starts going like this.
This is the best part. This is the best part where I crack up. Okay, so I don't have any cards within arm reach, so I'm going to do a pendulum for everybody, and I'm just going to ask the pendulum: is everybody here in the chat and on the broadcast? Is everybody perfect? Yep, it's saying yes. Can you see it? Saying yes. Everybody, all of you are perfect. Is everybody here going to have a beautiful new moon and be able to release things? Absolutely. And is everybody here a non-muggle? Yep. Okay. You're all non-muggles. You're going to have a great new moon, and you're all perfect.
And on Sunday at 7, if you would like cards for the new moon in Libra, Miss Ivana, Intuitive, and I will be doing a live. So we'll be doing cards for the collective. And if you would like an energy card for the new moon, drop by too. We'll get you one.
Well, that's great. And can I plug my meditation too?
Sure, go for it.
So this Friday night at 9:00 Eastern time, we're going to be doing another world meditation. My friend Kay Silvergrove is going to be leading the meditation. I haven't seen it yet, so I can't tell you what it's about, but I'm sure it's going to be beautiful and healing and mesmerizing. So I hope you all join us on the Cool Crone.
Yes, the Cool Crone, please. I got their I do have Val and Colleen's links in the description below. Please go and subscribe to these lovely ladies. You got anything going on, Val?
I do. On Monday, the 26th of September, at 1 p.m., well, I'll just say 12 p.m. Pacific time, I'm going to have, actually, I'm going to be on Marina's channel. Oh, Marina, Heart
and Soul Connected.
Thank you. No, Heart. No. Oh God, she's gonna kill me.
It was Heart and Soul Connected.
No, that's Allie Martin.
No, that's not her. That's
oops. Sorry, Allie.
Boy, how can I go blank on that?
Bye, Warrior Girl. Thank you for
Marina. Heart something. Oh my gosh, she's gonna. Hopefully, she won't kill me. But anyway, I have it written down, but somehow I didn't.
Put it in the description. Just send it to Heather and put it in the description.
Yes. Or if you want to pop back in, I have another live coming on in 10 minutes with Scott and Sherry. If you want to pop back in too and type it in, or just email it to me, I'll get that in there for you. Heart Center Tarot. Hi, Scott.
Heart Center Tarot.
That's it. That's it.
I was close.
I even subscribed to her channel. She is great. She's absolutely wonderful. I love her.
Well, happy Maybon, everybody. Yes, I hope you all enjoy the dark and the light and the balanced days and energies and everything. Mwah. Love you all.
Love you all.
Bye. Thank you, ladies, for coming.
Bye.
Thank you, Colleen. Bye. Thank you, Heather. Bye.
You're welcome.